This chapter had a few different things going on, but for me, seeing Kankurō and his power and ability to just dominate his match was the highlight of it. Naruto, number 70, the one who dies. Well, hello, my brothers and sisters and prospective chunin of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jim, here to bring you another review on the awesome and just engaging and fight-filled tale of Naruto. Now, our last chapter, of course, really saw us with, I should say, the Orochimaru and Kakashi kind of just facing off against one another and just seeing, boy, I tell you, just seeing Orochimaru there and ready to challenge Kakashi and everything else. And then while all this was going on, we of course had the fight that was raging on that wound up being pretty one-sided between Shino and Zaku. And really the chapter ended off with Zaku going and attempting to use his wind powers and blowing his own arm off. And unfortunately, it was it was pretty graphic, and it was pretty cool though at the same time. But unfortunately for Zaku, he lost an arm. So that's how things left off. Things pick up over here, and we find out a little bit about. First, we kind of see Kakashi and Orochimaru just sort of with that face-off, and you know, Kakashi says, "Hey, listen, I'll take you out. You know, you may be one of those three, but I can still take you down." And Orochimaru's like, "Sure, yeah. There's a lot of difference between talking and doing something, you know." And Kakashi's like, "What?" And he explains to him that, number one, the reason that the sealing away of the curse won't work is because Sasuke has a heart of like an Avenger. You know what I mean? His will and determination is someone that is perfect for this type of for the actual curse. At least that's how I understand it and how it seemed to be explained. So very cool stuff over there. But anyway, Orochimaru goes, and after he goes and says this, then he just kind of goes and he turns around and walks away, and he's like, "You know, you were saying something about taking me out, you know, like now is your chance, right?" Kakashi winds up thinking better of it, and I think he realizes that you know, he might just be a little more talk than actual action at this point. And that maybe he doesn't want to tempt the fates and try to take out Orochimaru and just lets him walk away. We then go back to the aftermath of the Shino and Zaku fight, and actually we wind up seeing, of course, Zaku's arm has been blown off, and we wind up finding out too a little bit about Shino. Supposedly he comes from some kind of clan of like these beetle masters, and they make some kind of pact with the bugs and the beetles. They're actually all within his body, just crawling around and stuff. It's not some kind of summoning spell or anything like that. These things are inside of him, and they actually feed off of his chakra, and in return, they pretty much will go and do his deeds, attack or whatever he might need to be on the offensive. So definitely cool, but very creepy. And then they explain just what I was, you know, talking about, I believe, in the last chapter review, is that Zaku, you know, when he went to go and force his energy, his chakra out, and have it come out through his arm, through his fingers, to actually go and fire or use a projectile like that, you know, wind blade or whatever you want to call it, with the sound and what have you. That force wound up getting, the beetles wound up blocking off, and it's just similar to like if you stick a rock in a gun barrel, you know, and they show you in the cartoons, and all of a sudden the gun backfires and everything like that. It's something that winds up changing and obstructing the path of the energy that wanted to come out. So what happened is they had nowhere to go, and it just blew his arm off. But it's grisly, man. They just show the arm laying there, and I'm like, oh man, somebody pick that thing up, wrap that shit up or something, you know. So anyways, it's good stuff though. But then we wind up seeing, and for the rest of the chapter, we actually get to see the next battle, which is really cool, I think, and winds up taking between Misumi and Kankurō. And Kankurō is the one that looks, he actually looks like he's wearing a mask, and he has that thing he calls the crow, that obviously he was able to use as like some sort of doppelganger or what have you back in phase 1 of the exams, or the first exam, I guess you would say. And these two wind up going and facing off against each other, and Misumi says, "You know what, this is, I'm not going to underestimate you, like, you know, like Zaku did with Shino and everything else. I'm just going to take you out, and the first strike is going to be the last strike, you know." And Kankuro's like, "Okay, whatever." So the fight goes and starts, you know, and as they kind of go, you know, square off to go and attack against each other, we see Misumi go and just kind of like actually bend his body to go and get around behind and kind of put into a choker hold. I guess you would call it like a full body choker hold. He's got him around the neck, but then also just like his limbs wrapped around him. We find out that Misumi is able to actually go and like dislocate bones and move things around, and basically to get into whatever space that he needs to can like manipulate, and is almost like a contortionist of sorts. That's the best way I could explain it. But he gets around behind, he's got Kankurō, and he's holding him, and he's just like, you're either going to yield or I'm going to snap your neck, And he gives him the opportunity to. He says, you can either yield or I will. I'll break your neck, And Kankurō just kind of laughs at him and doesn't say anything, He's nothing to the effect of that he's going to yield or he's going to give up. So then all of a sudden just snap, what the fuck, right? And it looks like they're about to call the match, and you just see this, this body wrapped around this other body that looks like it's dead now and everything. And then, man, it is some freaky shit, because before he started the match, he threw his crow, whatever he calls it, thing on the ground, and it's like wrapped in bandages, and it just looks sort of like a mummy almost, and I thought it was some sort of weapon or whatever it was. Anyway, all of a sudden, this thing turns around, and I got, let me see over here. I want to see if I can find the actual page, because this thing goes and turns around, and I about shit when I saw it. It snaps the neck. We got the neck snap over there. The next page turns around, and all of a sudden there's this freaky Chucky-like freaking doll, it looks like. And we find out that what he was actually doing the whole time, Kankurō, is that he is actually wrapped in the mummy bandages or whatever, right? But he's actually, he's like a puppeteer. He was able to use this thing as a marionette and make it look and sound and act just like him. And then, of course, now that the joke is on Misumi, because he thinks that he had got the drop on him and broke the neck of Kankurō. He didn't break shit. And Kankurō is able to go and obviously get up and pretty much just have a smug look on his face while his marionette goes and certainly winds up now having Misumi in a hold. And he says, yeah, now with all those broken bones, you'll be able to move into much tighter spaces, and then he goes and he says, so I give you the same deal, I guess, or something along those lines, if you give up. They wind up calling the match, though, because Misumi is unable to actually fight back and is unable to go on, and Kankurō winds up winning it very, very easily. And it's kind of cool to actually go and see his powers in action, because we did see just a little bit, I guess, a glimpse, but it was never, explained very much, certainly in that first phase of the Chunin exams, whereas in this one we actually get to see a different application and a very clever application and use of his powers. So we find out that certainly, because even Naruto asks, Kakashi, Master Kakashi winds up coming out during the course of this as the match is about to start, and Sakura, of course, is asking how Sasuke is, and he says he's fine, he's got some Black Ops, guards by him, but he's sleeping, this and that. And but when Naruto asks, he says, Mr. Kakashi, isn't that, you can't have two people fighting at once? And he says, well, it's not two people. He says it's one person and the marionette, the puppet. But because he uses his chakra to actually control this as like a puppeteer, it's no different than using a weapon like a shuriken or a kunai or something like that. So definitely kind of cool to see. But I get where Naruto is coming from, because it does seem like a kind of a cheap way of being able to win, having obviously two people, but it's not really. The other one is inanimate unless he actually focuses and uses his power and his chakra to make it work. So anyways, and then Kakashi, I think it is, winds up going and telling Sakura to go ahead and look up over there, because Sakura and Ino is the next fight that winds up coming up. And obviously we know the history between those two just a little bit, but that's certainly going to be, I guess you'd say, interesting. Oh, excuse me, I don't know what the hell I'm yawning for. It's like the middle of the day now. Anyways. So, I guess I'm just getting old and lack of sleep catches up with you after a while. But Sakura and Ino is going to be the next fight, and looks like it's going to be coming up in the next one. So, now we've seen a few of them, and certainly they're just chugging along over here, and I am enjoying the hell out of it, and can't wait to see what happens in the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. So, that's where the chapter leaves off. My chapter question for you, brothers and sisters, is now that you've seen Kankurō and his ability, what are your thoughts on his actual ability and his character? He seemed very kind of just cool, and cool as the other side of the pillow, cold, calculating, or whatever. To obviously, the end justifies the means. He wanted to win, and he did so in a very, very commanding fashion. So let me know what your thoughts are, though, on him in the comments down below. Feel free to hit the thumbs up, the like button if you should think that I deserve it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We will look forward to catching all of you in the next Fun Nation.
Subscribe to my other channels and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, damn it.